Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Protect Your Farm Business, where we discuss things all about agribusiness and agribusiness related topics. And so I'm sorry about last week. I was unable to make the live, and I was actually visiting family in Georgia. And so it's kind of weird taking an airplane again during this time. But today I wanted to share with you, as you can see from the screen, something that I think would be of interest. And so I put in the description box that we are seeing surges in a lot of these COVID-19 cases, and that could lead to more uncertain times. I know we've already been in this for about 4 months, but it seems like it's not getting better. So, what does that mean for agriculture? What does that mean for us? And what are some resources that I could potentially, if I were a farmer rancher, look at to maybe help me make some decisions? And so today, actually, a lot of us are taking a class from one of our faculty, Norm Ruhoff, who does futures market information and how to trade. And so we are actually doing a CME trading challenge where all of us are trading on CME and with money, and it's pretty fun and interesting, but it was weird seeing where the markets were, especially in agricultural products. And so I did a futures market buy of live cattle, and I just am thinking about those cattle producers and wondering, should they hold on to their cattle longer because of market prices, etc. And so I was actually talking to a few of my fellow faculty neighboring states, and there has been this program, and it's called Ag in Uncertain Times. And I really hadn't heard of the program before, but I think they provide a lot of information that could be useful for us, even if it does seem like it was made maybe a few years ago. It is still very relevant, and there are a lot of things that we can use today that can help us today in this uncertain time. And so I put it in the description box, the link to the website. And as you can see, this is the first page that pops up onto the website. So I speak English, and so I click English, but they do have that Spanish option, which is great. And so as you can see their homepage, they have home, schedule, webinars, and about. And so there hasn't been a lot scheduled in the future. However, all of their past webinars have been recorded for us, which I think is really great, especially because there's a lot of good information. And so I just wanted to share a few of those things with you today. And so if you click on webinars, it talks about financial and farm stress. And I think that is such a big deal. When we're talking about financials, again, knowing the cost of production, what do these financials mean, and how does that lead to farm stress? I think we can all make that connection, but how do we, as farmers and ranchers or professionals that are helping farmers and ranchers, really talk to them about this financial stress and how to help them cope with it? And so there's actually webinars on that. And so as you can see, there, Jeff Dyer on managing stress on the farm and communicating with farmers under stress. And so that is a really, really great topic. And we really hear about farmer suicide rates being really high. And so managing that stress is very important for the agricultural community. So expanding opportunities for small scale farmers, and ag tax updates, local food. But one of the cool ones that I saw that was down here was managing drought and disaster impacts. Okay, and so it says feeding risk from drought impacted feeds and forages. I know here in Idaho our weather conditions have actually been really great this summer, and so I do not foresee a drought. But one of the interesting things is, should I buy hay or sell cows? And I think that's a really interesting topic because the longer we hold on to our cows, the more we have to feed. But if that's better than the cattle prices, then maybe it is better to feed. And so I think that's a really interesting topic that can be topical for today's discussion. And so I just think they have some really great material that is on this website. And so if you go to About Us, you can see that it's all a part of the Western Extension Committee, and you can see that a lot of the universities that surround Idaho are a part of this website. And I know that the University of Idaho has really gotten on board with Western Extension Committee, and we're very excited for the things to come with them. But you can see webinars. And so, again, this was back in 2018, so it is a little dated. However, there's still a lot of good information. And especially because a lot of these people talked about disaster, and if that were to happen, what should you do? And maybe they looked at it as the drought disaster. But we're kind of in that right now with the pandemic. And so looking at it that way, it would be really interesting to hear how that can be changed for what's happening today. So I just wanted to share this with you. I know that these past couple of months have been very difficult, but I wanted to say that there's a few projects that are in the works that I'm very excited about. And so I was talking about a lot of us educators being trained in futures markets. So I wanted to tell you to look out for future futures market classes and webinars, and maybe I will do a YouTube live discussing futures markets, or maybe a series. So if you're interested in that, please leave a comment. I think that would be amazing if you would tell me, yeah, I'd love to learn about the futures market. Can Protect Your Farm Business talk about the futures market and how to sell grain or cattle using futures prices? I think it could be a great potential for a lot of people. And so another thing that I wanted to discuss is that in Idaho, I don't know if you've seen any of the papers discussing this program called Farm Forward. And it was actually passed by the legislator to fund a position. And so we just had someone come on board, but it's actually a really broad group that wants to help farm families and farm businesses and act as a farm business network in a sense. And we were just wondering, what are the things that farmers and ranchers or professionals in agriculture looking for when they think of a farm business network or a family business network? We're just trying to generate ideas on how we can help you. What are some of the big topics that you would love to have information on? And I think that goes for Protect Your Farm Business as well. I want to be relevant for you, and I am here to serve the farm and ranch community or the agricultural professionals community as I can. And so with that, I would love if you could leave comments this week. We are going to have a lot shorter video, but I want to hear from you guys. And so please leave comments of some suggestions, some things you would like to learn about. And I hope I'll see you next week with something you suggested. If not, I'll still be here next week with something to talk about. And so with that, thank you guys, and I will see you next week.